So this is going to be our final game. We do have Team Light up 2-1. It's going to come down to Snow versus Light. Who's going to take it? Or is it going to be a tied series? We've got Light versus Snow on In the Way of an Eddy. This is going to be the final game. And I was looking at the lineups before the game started, and I actually kind of favored Team Snow because I thought Best was going to take out Rush. I thought that Snow was going to take out Light. And I thought that Action would take out Mini. So I thought that actually it was going to be Team Snow to take the victory here, but it looks like maybe it's going to be Team Light, one game away from winning this series, or is Snow going to actually even it up to 2-2? There is no Game 5, so this is going to be the last game of the series. Now we do have Light at top right, we do have Snow at bottom right, and In the Way of an Eddy, a pretty standard map. We haven't seen it in a long time. About a year and a half ago it was in the map pool. It was in one of the previous BSLs. I really like this map. I thought it was pretty good. Now, when I played on this map, I remember being constantly pressured by Zealots. And I remember that this was a very popular map to go for gasless expand. Now this time, we don't see Snow with a forward gate, but we may actually see Light go for a gasless expansion. We already saw Rush go for gasless in the previous game. But Light can do anything. He's really up to skill quite a bit. Like, I don't want to say he's at Flash's level, but he's very close. Like, this guy is really, really good right now. So, Snow's got his work cut out for him, but Snow has also been playing very well lately. He's arguably the best Protoss right now. Oh, actually might have 12 Nexus, because Snow is actually not building a gateway, and we do have gasless expand from Light, so this is going to be the best opener that Snow could have actually hoped for. It is going to be 12 Nexus. Gasless, I think, is pretty good versus 12 Nexus, but I actually like gas personally, because I like having the map control with the vultures. Now on the ladder, more and more Protoss players these days that I'm facing when they go 12 Nexus, they are cutting a lot to make sure they get up their 12 Nexus. So I wonder what type of cut Snow will do here. Will he just continue to power on one gate, or will he pump out a lot of Zealots? Will he try to go for a bust with like 4-6 goons and 2 Zealots? I've seen that a couple times. So we will just have to wait and see what his response is. Now Light, unfortunately, doesn't get off a first scout, and if he does the end scout, he'll find him second, but if he doesn't, it is going to be another last scout for him. Looks like he's not going to end scout, so this is going to be a last scout for Light. A bit unfortunate. Now Snow, I actually thought was going to go to top right, but I don't know what he's doing right now. It's kind of just going back and forth. Maybe he wants to kind of catch the SCV and act like he's not here. This is a very weird scout pattern, or I actually don't know what this is. But we do have second gate coming down for Snow. He is respecting the potential for a pull. Now because he's actually going back and forth and not scouting top right, he doesn't know that this is gasless. If this was gasless, he probably doesn't build this second gate. He probably doesn't build this Zealot. But because he doesn't know, and now he's going to be scouting top left, this actually went from being a really good position for Snow to kind of just being an okay position. Sure, having 12 Nexus is amazing, but the lack of scouting, lack of intel really hurt him here. Now Terran comes in here, sees what's going on, realizes he can't really do anything, so he's just going to have to give up the 12 Nexus. You can see that Protoss is cutting a little bit here, not building probes in the main or the Nat, so it is just going to be a defensive 12 Nexus, and this is, you know, does boil down to not scouting with his initial probe. So that really, really hurts Snow in this particular game to not just instantly scout top right. Now first factory's coming down. We'll wait and see how he wants to react to this. The more games I've seen of Light, the more I've noticed that he likes going for super, super fast upgrades, like 445 armory. But this time, it is going to be a second factory from him. So he is going to be a little bit aggressive, or it could just be the fact that he is playing gasless, so he has a bit more econ than he normally does. Now look at the damage that Snow has put on himself by cutting his probes in the early game. Terran has a decent worker lead, up 3 workers. Now, Protoss will catch up once Terran builds their academy and puts on the comm set, but for now, Terran's in a really good position being up these additional workers. Gas coming down for Light, so he's going to be catching up on his gas count pretty quickly. Armory should be starting pretty soon. There it is. As I said, he really loves super fast armory, and this is super fast armory with also double factory. So this is an amazing position to be going gasless, be able to go 2 fact, and be able to get your armory up that quickly, and not really have any zealot or goon pressure on your bunker for a long time. You're feeling really good about this as a Terran player. Third base going up for Snow. It is before Robo, which is a bit surprising. I don't think I've ever seen a game from Snow where he's purposely skipped out on the Robo. I really have never seen him triple Nexus like this. Snow is one of the players that is really good with Reavers, so for him to skip out on this, it feels like this is a way for him to kind of abuse Light or abuse the image that he has. Because if you're Terran, you're thinking that this is 100% of the time going to be Reavers going up against somebody like Snow. So this, I think, is just a mind game to let Snow get super econ right here. More than likely, Terran's going to put a turret ring around his base. So I think that this is an interesting move from Snow, playing to his image here. We're going up into 4 gate 2, maybe even 5 gate. Now I don't think he can go Reaver after this. Reaver is really only strong in the initial stages of the game where the tank count is really lacking, but you can see that Light does know that Snow loves Reavers. So he ends up getting range and multiple Goliaths despite not seeing anything. Comsat is coming in, +1 weapon is about 25% of the way done. So Starport's going to be started pretty soon. Third base is going to be going up pretty soon. There is the observatory. As expected, was really not expecting to see anything other than that. Support bay I think was highly unlikely. Now Light is in the dark here and he's going to scan pretty soon. Let's see what he sees. I think he will scan pretty soon. Maybe not. We'll see what he scans in a few seconds. Starport's going to be coming down pretty... Oh, actually, that's a 3rd factory. Okay, there's the command center. Starport needs to start pretty soon if he wants to line up with his +2, though. Now, in the Way of an Eddy is a map where we do have another base at top middle. It is an island. So if Terran can secure that, that's another gas for them that is, you know, going to really benefit them to be on 4 gas without having to move. That's a really, really nice position for Terran to be in, but it's a little bit hard to defend islands as Terran, so I don't think Light is actually going to take that, whereas islands are a bit easier for Protoss to defend, so I actually would like to see Snow take bottom middle in this scenario. Citadel is going up. It is at a pretty decent timing relative to his build, so this is just going to be standard Arbiter play, looking to go for the 12-minute stasis timing bust onto the Terran player, but with the gasless opener, it's going to be really hard to go for that bust, so he may actually end up trying to just get super econ, try and take favorable engagements on high ground, you know, in the Way of Eddy. In the Way of an Eddy has several ramps spread out throughout the map. Now Light has his command center done, so he is inching forward to take his 3rd base. 3rd base is already up and running, of course. For Snow, he's been mining it for a decent amount of time. Stargate has started. Temple Archive is going to start pretty soon. Actually, mineral only going down for Snow, and a bit surprising that he's going to take this, because if Terran ever gets into a position like this, they can easily siege this while also, you know, covering their bases and also putting pressure onto the net. Whereas taking a base at bottom left would force Terran to extend quite a bit to try and take that out. We see a small counterattack to deny the 3rd base as long as possible, but there's just too much Terran at this point. So goons get taken down, but it looks like this was just a setup to try and go for a backstab from the back, and with all the tanks out of position, this may actually catch a tank. He is going to catch one of them, but ends up not... Okay, now he's going to take it out. But will he lose all these goons? They're actually getting glitched up on the mines now. So a move that I thought was really smart ends up backfiring. Now Snow is floating a bit of money. He's going to need to start putting down some more gateways. Temple Archive is done. Arbiter Tribunal needs to go up pretty soon. Light is starting to get pretty big. He's got his 3rd base up and running. He's got even supply. Goons are just being pretty obnoxious here. Gonna find another tank, but they are gonna trade their lives for it. Vultures and Goliaths dealing a decent amount of damage. Luckily, that mine does not explode on top of those 2 goons, but trading a handful of vultures and 1 tank for 4 goons, I don't know if that's worth. Still a supply lead for Light here. 8 gate up for Snow now. He does have his Arbiter Tribunal coming in. Now remember, he's been on 3 base for a while, so his econ is pretty good. He's at 68 probes, so approaching the high end of the probe count that the Protoss player wants. Meanwhile, Terran looking pretty solid at 64 SCVs, really looking for about 65 is the sweet spot. Even supplies still. 4th base is up for Snow. Drop is coming in, but instantly intercepted. He does manage to unload one of them, but that was not the drop that Light wanted. So really nice intuition, because I don't think that Snow really even saw the dropship. Maybe he did with that observer that just got picked off, but really nicely done. Vultures are going to confirm the 4th base. May be able to get a couple probes here, but nothing major. And there we go. 5 factories coming in all at once from Light. He realizes that with his drop being denied, he needs to start making something happen, because Protoss is starting to get a bit crazy. He's got 5th base coming up. He's got Arbiter starting to be built. He does scan and see that the Arbiter has started blinking. Now, I'm not sure if he knows the exact timing, but they can probably assume that this is just a standard timing from Protoss. Actually, the Arbiter is a little bit late, so this Arbiter is going to pop it around 12:30. That means we're going to have about a 13:30 stasis, and that is not going to bode well for Snow. 13:30 means Terran's definitely going to be 2-1, more than 2-1. May even be partially along the ways to 3-2. So I think this is actually going to be an anti-timing from Snow. He really needed to get this Arbiter up a little bit faster. Supplies are very close, 140 to 150 at 11:45. You know Terran's going to max out at around 13 minutes now. Protoss is going to max out before 13 minutes, of course. 5th base is going to be up and running for Snow pretty soon. He needs to start building some gateways here. He actually doesn't have that many gates. It's only 9-10 gates so far. Double forge, but not upgrading right now. He's at +0. This is really a big misstep from Snow, and he even misclicks, and because he doesn't have the gas, he misclicked. He got Storm. He didn't get +1 weapon, so it's gonna be. Oh, okay. There's +1 weapon here, so it's actually triple forge. Oh man, there's so many games that I play, and I wonder why my army just doesn't kill anything. It's because I accidentally got +1 armor instead of +1 weapon. But still, this +1 weapon is extremely late versus Terran. If you can get +2 weapon versus +1 armor, that's a huge power spike for you. And we can see that Terran's already got +1 armor. So if Light was to go right now, it hits before +1 weapon, it hits before Storm, it hits before Arbiter, everything would be fantastic for him. There's no stasis available for the Arbiter right now. So a move out right now would probably be a game-ending move for Light. But Snow does have a 30 supply lead. He's macroing really well. I am getting a little worried that I don't see a command center anywhere. Okay, there it is. At the natural, Light has his 4th command center already built. Most likely going to take the mineral only because he wasn't able to keep his dropship alive to try and take top middle. But right now, looks like both players are just content with sitting on their side of the map. Macro gates on the left side of the map have gone up for Snow. He's got about 16 gates now. He still doesn't have triple forge going. +1 weapon is about to finish though. Meanwhile, Terran instantly started their +3 and +2. So even if Light doesn't win with this first attack, his +3 is going to be hitting so fast, and the Arbiters are really lacking for Snow that the follow-up punch is going to be even stronger than the first punch. Double EMP available for him too. Now, the Snow does have Storm, and he's got multiple Storms, so Light does need to be careful. He's got so many tanks right now. Looks like it's about 18. That's a decent Storm. Oh, EMP hits really just goons right now, so a bit of a whiff right there. Didn't even get the Arbiter. But the army is just super strong from Light right now. He's got about 18 tanks. He's got triple add-on, so he's going to have about 21 tanks right now. And now Snow's coming around the side. He does have +1 weapon. Tanks are sieging up all at once. This could be a good spot for a juicy storm. Decent stasis, but that all it does is kind of wall off the Zealots from being able to get on top of the tanks. So really an anti-stasis there. I thought it was going to be pretty good, but look at how many tanks there are. There's just so many tanks. It's almost an unbreachable army. Another Arbiter is out. A lot of Zealots are now starting to be pumped out. Forges are still not spinning. Looks like a bit of a misstep here from Snow. Storms are really good this time, blanketing a lot of the tanks, but there's just still so many tanks available that he's not going to be able to push through. And now Terran's going to get up his 4th base. Looks like Snow has snuck top left, but if he was going to take top left, I think he needed to take this first, because now Terran's already got the middle of the map. It's not really hard for them to move to top left. Here comes Snow again. Siege was a bit late this time, and he's going to be attacking uphill. So this is the fight that Snow wanted. But where are the Templars? I don't see any Templars. The supply is very high from Snow, but it doesn't look like a very big army. It's just goons now. He tries to focus down the vessel. He gets it, but he lost so many goons. Now Zealots are moving in, not really synced up. So a big supply swing from max down to 160. Meanwhile, Light holding strong on 160 supply himself. Still one Stargate. Looks like the forges are still not spinning. This is a big misstep from Snow. You definitely have to get at least weapon going when playing versus Terran high upgrade style. +2 armor is done. +3 weapon is done. Oh, this is not looking good for Snow. There's a lack of Templar too. He's got so much supply just sitting idle at bottom left. I don't think he realizes a couple Storm or a couple Templars are out on the right side of the map, but they're not with the rest of the army. Luckily, the stasis is kind of kept Light at bay, stalls the game out a little longer. But the army just looks super tiny from Snow. Like, there's one group. We'll say that's 2 groups. He is producing from here, so that's 3 groups and another. So it's really like 4 groups of units, and he's maxed. Going up against an army, or Terran army that's at 3-2, more upgraded. Now, is this an overextension from Light? He is going to be surrounded from both sides, but Snow has to send his army. Templar gets instantly picked off. Probe transfer gets cut off too. This is going to be a dead Nexus. Meanwhile, looks like there was a recall at top right. I missed it. So the 3rd base is going to go down. This is what Snow was banking on, trying to eliminate the econ from Terran. Terran's really on 1 base mining now. It's just the mineral only, whereas Snow still has 2 base mining. He's got his 3rd base coming up, or technically his 6th base coming up, and it's be the 3rd one that will be continued, that will continue mining. But there's so many tanks here. I think Light can just continue and bust this down. Yeah, there's still just so many tanks. 10 tanks remaining. Arbiter is still alive though, so you got to be very careful. And because the recall is still being dealt with on the side of the map, he can't instantly reinforce his army, so this could be a big overextension. We can see units are coming in from the right side. Storm is there too. There's actually not that much on the left side, but with Arbiters, if he is ever late on a scan, that could be all he needs to get on top of these tanks. Arbiter does not have stasis. Mines have not been placed. This Nexus is going to fall. This is so many tanks. It's about 16, but if he can have the right engagement, it looks like he's going to, because Snow is still maxed. Light is at 130 supply. He's not able to reinforce that quickly. This is a lot of tanks, but with units coming from both sides, they didn't instantly... Yeah, the scan was late. You can see that all these tanks just tried to target down these goons after the scan went off, and now we have 16 tanks just falling, not for free, of course, but tanks are extremely expensive, and supplies have plummeted for both players. 120 for Snow, 99 for Light. Luckily for Light, he still has his 4th base, but his econ not nearly as good now. He's at 40 SCVs. He's still mining on 2 base, so it's still okay, but he definitely needs to get his command center up, or get his econ up. He needs to start repairing this, make sure that it doesn't die. But supplies for Snow also plummeted. He's at 110 supply. Remember, he lost a lot of probes during his transfer to mid left, but he still has 2 bases. He still has 55 supply, or 55 probes. He still has top left. He hasn't really gotten it up and running yet, but he does have a couple of DTs sitting here to deny any potential movement up here. Light managed to sneak the left side base, and that's going to be a third base up and running for him. He's got the command center at top left, but I imagine that's going to be lifted off pretty soon. A big probe transfer down to mid left, 6th base coming up for Snow again. This is a very back and forth game, and the lack of upgrades really does hurt Snow quite a bit. He's still at 1-1-1. +2 weapons going to complete pretty soon, but he needs to get +3 ASAP. DT is going to get taken out, but if I was Light in this position, I wouldn't be feeling that good. He's got 4 tanks, 4 Goliaths, like 4 Vultures. That's really not a strong army. Yet somehow he's feeling confident to attack top left. Maybe he just feels obligated to attack top left, because if he doesn't take it down, what else can he do? There's just... Oh, well, we've got another potential engagement in the center. Snow doesn't have that much supply, so he is going to back off. It's really just pure goons and a couple Arbiters. Looks like another Arbiter has recall energy available and may have its sights set on mid-right again. There's a decent amount of mines. Well, kind of lacking right here, but maybe... Ooh, Arbiter is swooping around on the left side. He does see the mines, so he should know where to actually recall. Right here could be good. Right here. Not right there. He's going to land on top of some tanks, but he's going to get blown up by mines. Okay, this is a much better spot. Yet it still drags one of the mines in. 4 goons instantly explode. The rest of the Zealots just run into mines and die. So that was not the recall. Now a supply lead for Light. Meanwhile, at top left, he did breach it, and he is going to take that down. And he ends up actually getting top middle too. So he's going to be mining there. He's mining at the left side. He's got the mineral only going up. His third base is ransacked, but he's going to be able to take that down. Tanks just dealing so much damage to these goons, they just explode. Arbiter ends up falling too. And what does Snow really have? He's got not that much. It's basically just a group of goons and a couple Zealots going up against a Terran player who has several tanks. They're highly upgraded. He's consistently reinforced his position over and over and over with tanks and mines, and I just don't think Snow has the steam left in him. He's never saturated this 6th base. He's got the probes over here, but they're not mining. Third base is about to mine out, so really he's on 1 base mining right now. It looks like a recall is going to go to top middle, so this is going to get shut down. Oh, I thought he had rebuilt that, but it's actually just hasn't been taken out. Templar gets a lot of SCV kills right there, but still, this is just pure goons. Oh, they get EMP'd, so all their shields are gone. And these tanks should be able to clean them up. And after this army goes down, there's really not much for Snow. As I said, he's basically on 1 base mining. He's got a lot of probes on the left side of the map, but he's not mining this base. He also, again, hasn't started +3, but now with his econ so shattered, I don't think having I don't think not starting +3 is that big of a deal, because he really needs to focus on units. Mid left, he's gonna get shut down, or these goons are gonna get shut down. So Light is doing a really good job balancing his defense all over the place. And unlucky for Light, actually this Nexus survived with 1 health. But there's just nothing left for Snow. Arbiter even falls to a turret. He's gonna try and counterattack to mid right, but 2 tanks are already set up here. He's got a vessel here too, so he can EMP this. It just doesn't look like Snow has any place to attack, and he just doesn't have the econ. He's finally put probes at his 6th base over on the left side, but he just doesn't have much really going for him. 20 supply lead for Light now. Arbiter count is extremely low. It's still only 1. Well, this is when you know Protoss is getting desperate, when they start morphing into Archons, because Archons really don't deal much to the Terran army. And there's just too much Protoss, or too much Terran at this point. This might actually be a successful recall. He's found a base that doesn't have a lot of mines. There's only 1 tank. It instantly gets stormed. But now, you can just defensive matrix this tank in the front and cast EMP. Again, there's so many tanks. Light has done a good job to just go back and forth. There's no recall on the right side either. So, I think he's just going to have to trade all of his goons for this command center. But Light already has another command center up here. He's got this up and running. He can start taking the main. The trades are really not going well for Snow, and I think it's just a matter of time until he taps out. There's just too much Terran. More goons falling. Probes are going to be transferred to the mineral only, so this is going to be 3 base for Protoss now. It is going to actually match the econ for the Terran. Ooh. Bit of a mistake here, not mining the gas at the third base. Oh, he misses the EMP, so the recall gets in. But again, these mines are dealing so much damage. Tank dealt a bit of damage there, but not a much defense after that. And now actually this recall finally is going to deal something. But a big counterattack to the middle of the map is going to deny this mineral only. There's so many tanks. There's 10 tanks, 12 tanks. He's just consistently overwhelming Snow's army. Another counterattack, but no observers. He's going to run into some mines here. Zealot leads the charge, soaks up a few of them. We may have another base trade, or another base trade. Top left is going to get ransacked. Meanwhile, Snow's going to lose bottom left, at least the natural. And I think this was a smart move to not overcommit there. He knows that Protoss is only on one base. As long as he keeps top left, he's going to be in an okay position. He doesn't necessarily need to kill the low ground base of Protoss. So he turns around. Now remember, there's a Templar here. Used to storm on an SCV. So that, oh, he used all of his storm. Now he can't use it on these tanks. And now the goons are just going to get cleaned up very easily. What a chaotic game. Snow's doing a good job to make it crazy. The problem is just his army is never big enough to actually have a favorable trade. I think Light has won almost every single fight in this game, except for his one big overextension here with the 16 tanks. Yeah, all the goons end up falling there. Another big supply lead for Light. He's up 20 supply, he's up 15 workers. He's got the low ground base now. Snow continuing to move out. He's also, every time he's moved out, he's lost the Arbiter. So he's never actually hit critical mass on the Arbiter. If he could get like 3 or 4 stasis off, I think that could swing the tide in his favor. But because every single time it's just only 1 stasis, he's never actually able to have a favorable engagement. Also, Light has been hitting a lot of EMPs, but really losing the Arbiter every single time is extremely painful. Well, here comes Snow again. He's setting up, but Terran's on high ground. There's no way you can fight this. So I wonder what angle he wants to come from. I think going to the right side again might be his best choice. Try and draw Terran out of position. That's the best way to play versus Terran, is just try and move them out of position. You can never fight into siege. Like, it's just too hard. Now, here we go. This is one way. He's going to move his Arbiter over here. Goliaths are in position. Mines are starting to get into position. It's okay. He does get the recall off, but this is, of course, not a super important base. He is going to wipe out the command center, but he's going to trade a lot for it. He's still down 20 supply. He did keep his Arbiter alive this time. He is going to lose a decent chunk of the Zealots. On the left side, I don't see any action happening, so still Light has the left side completely taken. He's still got 60 SCVs, so that's great for him. Now he's moving across the map. He's going to try and bust down this bottom left base, and with this bottom left base going down, that's going to be all the mining. The main on that side of the map is wiped out. This has to be the last fight. Snow's going to go for it. He's down 20 supply. There's no Arbiter. It's just Gateway Man. D-Matrix in the front. There's a Templar, and that's just it. GG. Not even going to see the storm at the end. So Light's going to take it, and that's going to take it for his team. He's going to win 3-1. And what a game this was. Very back and forth. But really, it kind of was just, I think, Snow playing a little bit sloppy. Light did a good job defending every position. I liked how Snow took a lot of bases, but the lack of upgrades, lack of actually getting critical mass Arbiters really hurt him there. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for future casts from StarCastTV.